Hi scholars, I miss you guys so much and I wish that we could be doing read alouds together in person. But for now, we'll have to settle for virtual read alouds. So today we're gonna read a story called Something Happened in Our Town, a child's story about racial injustice. So if you're in my class, you've read this story before many times, but I want you, this time, instead of giving you a specific question or something to think about, I just want you to listen and think, what does that make you think about what's going on in the world right now? And how does it make you feel? You can choose to let me know however you want, or you can talk to your family or to another adult that loves you. So there's no assignment. I just want you to be thinking how this connects to what's going on in the world and how it's making you feel. I will try my best to make sure that after I read the page, I can show you guys the picture. Something happened in our town. Something bad happened in our town. The news was on the TV, the radio, and the internet. The grown-ups didn't think the kids knew about it, but the kids in Miss Garcia's class heard some of the older kids talking about it, and they had questions. I'm gonna try to close this shade a little bit so you can see. Hopefully that helps. Okay. After school, Emma asked her mother, "Why did the police shoot that man?" "It was a mistake," said her mother. "I feel sad for the man and his family." "Yes, the police thought he had a gun," said Emma's father. "It wasn't a mistake," said her sister Liz. "The cop shot him because he was black." Emma was confused. "His skin is brown, not black," she said. "Some black people have dark brown skin and some have light brown skin," Emma's father explained. "Black usually means African American. Most of their ancestors were brought here from Africa as slaves." So I'm going to pause right there. As with all stories, there's room for improvement with everything. There are so many different people in our country, and everyone's skin is a little bit different. Here they say some people have dark brown skin and some people have light brown skin. We know that they're all different shades of skin, and we also know that people get to tell you how they want to be identified. Some people prefer the term black, some people say African American, and there are also many people in our country who have black or brown skin who were not descendants of slaves, but many were. So we know that people come from all over and their families have different histories. And in this story, it seems like the author is trying to just give us some background in history. "I know what a slave is," Emma said. "That's when you have to do whatever the other person says." "Sort of. Slaves had to do whatever white people told them to do. And even after slavery ended, white people didn't let black people live where they wanted, go to school with white people, or vote." "Who are white people?" asked Emma. "White people came here from places in Europe or Russia or other countries. We are white even though our skin is light tan." That's Emma and her family, and the pictures in the back are showing images from what looks like slaves working in fields. So this is what her parents are describing to her, and this is Emma and her family. "Did our family do those terrible things a long time ago?" asked Emma. "Yes, answered her mother. Back then, many white people thought that they were better than black people, even though it wasn't and is not true. Liz added, some white people still think that most black men and boys are dangerous, even though they're not. Was the man that got shot dangerous? Asked Emma. No, her mother said. Shooting him was a mistake. It was a mistake that is part of a much bigger pattern. Like the pattern on my blanket? Emma asked. Yes, but this pattern is treating white people well and treating black people very differently. It's an unfair pattern. Imagine you had a birthday. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show you the picture. Imagine you had a birthday party and invited everyone in your class except the black students. How do you think that the black students would feel? Well, they would probably be sad or mad, said Emma. And, her mother added, you would be missing out because you never know who's going to be your best friend. You can help others to be fair and more just, said her mother. Like telling Anna to stop teasing Ling about her name? Asked Emma. Her mother smiled and gave her a hug. Yep, just like that. So the first part of the story that we just read is an example of a white family talking to their daughter about a situation in their town or an event in their town where a white police officer shot and killed a black man. Before we move on, I just want to reread a couple of parts that I want you to think about. And again, if you're in my class, you may be thinking we've already done this. That's okay, you just have lots of background knowledge and you can share that if you choose to. Liz added, some white people still think most black men and boys are dangerous, even though they're not. Shooting him was a mistake, said her mother. But that mistake is part of a pattern. I'm wondering, what pattern is it part of? Now we're going to read about another family having a different conversation about the very same event. This family, their children go to the same school, but the family here is black. I wonder what they're going to say and if it's going to be the same. In another house, Josh asked his mother, can police go to jail? Yes, said his mother. Why do you ask? That white policeman who shot the black man, said Josh, will he go to jail? What he did was wrong, said his mother. But he won't go to jail, said his father. Why not? Asked Josh. Well, cops usually stick up for each other, said Josh's brother Malcolm, and they don't like black men. Josh was confused. Why not? Some police officers are black. You're right, said his mother. Uncle James is a police officer, and so is my friend Kenya. There are many cops, black and white, who do try to make good choices, said his father. But in our country, we can't count on police officers to do what's right. I'm thinking to myself, the father is saying, in this country, we can't count, and especially for Black and brown men and women, they can't count on the police to always do what's right. That makes me think that's probably connected to the pattern that Emma's family talked about. Malcolm added, I could get stopped by the police just because I'm Black, even if I didn't do anything wrong. That's not fair, Josh said. What if it was a white man in the car? Would the police have shot him? They probably wouldn't have even stopped the car, said his father. I'm going to read that part again, and I want you to think about what that really means. Malcolm added, I could get stopped by the police just because I'm Black, even if I don't do anything wrong. That's not fair, said Josh. What if it was a white man in the car? Would the police have shot him? They probably wouldn't have even stopped the car, said his father. Sometimes white people are treated better than Black people, said his mother, and it's not right. Everybody should be treated fairly. Josh's mother gave him a hug. We're proud of who we are. Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X. They were strong, and obviously so many more. They were strong and brave Black leaders. They showed us that we could stand up for our rights and set good examples for others. They were treated unfairly, but helped others learn to be more fair. I want you to think, what does it mean? Josh asks, would the police officers have shot the man in the car if he was white? And his father says, they probably wouldn't have even stopped the car. What does that have to do with this pattern? Some people haven't learned yet, his father said angrily. Why are you mad? Asked Josh. I'm angry that we are still treated so poorly, but I can use all the anger I feel to try to fight to make things better, his father said. Black people have a lot of power if we work together. We can always try to make change. I have power, Josh said, and I'm smart, just like all of you. His father smiled. You're right, his mother added. And you can change people's hearts by sticking up for someone who you see not being treated fairly. Like how Malcolm sticks up for me when kids tease me about my glasses. He tells them to step off. Just like that, said his parents. The next day, I'm going to pause first. So again, I want you to think, we just read about two families talking about the same event. Their conversations were different. Why do you think that is? I'm going to share something that my class has talked about before, and if anyone in my class would like to share some more information from our discussion, that would be great, but you of course don't have to. Something that my class talked about when we read this at the very beginning of the school year is that sometimes families, like in Josh's home, have a different conversation. And that's because, like Emma's parents shared, A lot of white people in our country still believe that black men and boys are dangerous, even though they're not. And it's not because of the behavior of those boys and men. It is just because of what they look like. And we know that that is not right. So, because of that, many black and brown men and boys are treated unfairly and sometimes even killed by police officers and by other white people because people have a false belief about them. And those beliefs are not true. We know that black men and boys are not dangerous. And your skin color has nothing to do with how smart and powerful and kind and helpful you are. Because we know that there is this pattern, a lot of times in black families, parents talk to their kids about police officers because they have to worry about their sons and daughters and want to protect them from ever being hurt, even though it is really, really unfair. The white family, so Emma's parents, they don't have to worry about their children being stopped by police or killed because of the color of their skin. And that is an example of the pattern of racism that their family talks about. White parents do not have to worry about their children or themselves or their partners being hurt or killed because of the color of their skin. But in other families, in black and brown families, parents have to worry about their children's safety just because of what they look like. And we know that that is not right. Now we're going to find out what happens with Emma and Josh when a new student comes to their school. The next day, a new kid joined Emma and Josh's class. His name was Omad, and he was from a country far away. Omad didn't know where to sit or what to do because it was his first day in school. He talked a little bit, but it was kind of hard to understand him. He said that he was still learning English. Wow, that sounds really, really hard. His family just moved to America, and he's in a brand new school where he doesn't know anyone, and he's still learning how to speak English. I wonder how the kids are going to treat somebody who's different from them. After lunch, the class went outside to play soccer. Daniel and Sophia picked kids to be on their teams. All of the kids were picked to be on a team except Omad. Daniel said Omad probably didn't know how to play because he was new. Sophia said Omad might not even be good at soccer. Omad looks really, really sad in that picture. Josh remembered what his mother said about sticking up for people who were being treated unfairly. Emma remembered what her mother said about unfair patterns and birthday parties. All of a sudden, Omad wasn't alone. Emma and Josh were leading him to their team. "We have enough kids on our team," said Daniel. "We don't need him." But Josh was ready. "Step off," he said. "He's playing on our team." "Yeah," said Emma. "We don't want to miss out on a new friend." I know that all of my scholars and all of our scholars at school, you're all incredible change makers and incredible, kind, caring, smart friends. So I know when I'm reading this book that every single one of you would be the types of kids who would go up to Omad or anyone you know in real life and include them. Because I know that you are all kind, caring, smart, sweet, amazing children who practice being inclusive and caring about everyone. So when I read this page, I'm thinking about all of my amazing students and all of you guys. And it makes me feel really proud to know that I can count on you to help be change makers and include people, and to help change the minds of people like Daniel and Sophia who don't want to include somebody just because they're different. And just like that, Emma and Josh gained a new friend, and they helped start a better pattern at their school. The end. So that book covered a lot of really important topics. And normally when we do read alouds, I ask you to do lots of work and answer lots of questions and tell me specific things. But we know that in the past couple weeks, and especially the last week, there has been so much going on in the world, and there have been so many things that you've probably been seeing and hearing. And I've been hearing from all of you that some people are feeling sad and some people are feeling angry and confused. And all of those things make perfect sense. And everything that you're thinking and feeling, no matter what it is a valid way to feel and a valid emotion. And so I want you to think with yourself and with the people in your family or the people that care about you and that you love. And you can decide to think through this story however you think is going to be best for you. And know that if you would like to talk to me more about it, or show me anything you've made, or any artwork or writing, or if you have questions and want to talk more, just know that you can always, always, always text me or call me and we can talk about it, or I can just listen. And I know you can count on your other teachers to do the same thing, because we love you so much and we know how amazing you all are, and that it's really scary even for grown-ups to see what's going on around the country right now. So if it's making you feel overwhelmed or scared, it's okay if you need some time before you think about it, or if it's not something you're ready to think about or talk about at all, that's also okay. So I'm gonna leave it at that. If you would like to respond to any of the things I asked, of course you can do that. If you would like to talk about it, or draw, or write something, you can always show me, but you don't have to. And if you just need somebody to listen, know that I'm here for you and that I love you, and I'm sending you virtual hugs and high fives and handshakes. And I wish we could all be together right now, but for now, just know that I'm sending you lots of love, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see all your smiling faces again soon.